Hello everyone, and a warm welcome from Visaman UK. So this video is about identifying genuine UK job offers and in the process understanding the tier 2 process further. So what is the rationale for this video? I get about pardon me, 20 odd emails absolutely every single day, and a lot of these emails are about identifying fake jobs or scam jobs that people get contacted for. So essentially the number of fake UK jobs or scam UK jobs where these scamsters essentially just try and make money out of candidates is on the rise, and sometimes it's all very professionally done. Like they have a professional UK website, they have job details, impressive contract letters and absolutely everything. But sometimes you have very silly offers encountered by candidates, like somebody claiming to be able to get people to the UK to try and maintain their gardens, or to try and take care of their son or daughter while they're away. Now, obviously, as far as I'm concerned, it's quite easy to actually detect these scam jobs based on the proposition, the type of proposition or the type of job offered. And through this video, I hope it becomes easier for you to identify these scam jobs yourself, because it's extremely important to understand the situation in the UK, the situation with jobs in the UK in general, and how the sponsorship system works, so that you're able to actually identify fake jobs yourself. And so this is actually a continuation video for the video that I have on fake UK job offers. So let's start understanding what's happening in the UK and why it is actually so difficult to find work here. Well, the answer is simple. It begins and it ends with politics. So the atmosphere in the UK for the last decade has been that no political organization can be seen to actively be promoting immigrants, because there is like a general sense in the UK that immigrants are responsible for most of the problems that people encounter in the UK. So no political party can actively be seen to promote immigrants over local talent. They all want to be seen as promoting local talent. What has this resulted in? This has resulted in a cap on tier 2 visas, so a limit on the number of tier 2 visas that can be issued by any organization. There is a total number of tier 2 visas that can be new tier 2 visas that can be created on a particular year, in a particular year, and that limit has been set by the Home Office. No organization can exceed that. It's extremely difficult, almost impossible, should I say, to hire immigrants for non-specialized professions. So if somebody claims to be, to be able to get you to the UK, to bring you over to the UK for the job of a bricklayer, or for the job of house maintenance or garden maintenance or anything of that sort, it's impossible, because these are skills that can actually be fulfilled. These are roles that can actually be fulfilled by the locals here in the UK. So there's absolutely no need to get somebody from abroad, from overseas. It's absolutely no need to get an immigrant for such a role. And also, if a person is in the UK, has managed to get sponsorship in the UK, it is extremely difficult for the person to then change jobs as well. So once a person is sponsored by a particular company, it's always difficult for that person to then change jobs and go to a different company, because there's that added factor of the resident labour market test. And the whole process is just getting more and more complicated and more expensive with the passage of time. It's not getting easier, it's just getting more difficult. all of the factors like the salary level required for tier 2 visas, the salary level required for indefinite leaves to remain, all of them are going to rise, and it'll just keep rising because they just do not want more immigrants in the UK. They just want to restrict it as much as possible. And who can actually sponsor immigrants in the UK? Can a British citizen, can your uncle, or can your can somebody you know who owns a restaurant, or can I just sponsor immigrants? The answer is no. Individuals cannot sponsor immigrants in the UK. Only organizations can sponsor immigrants. But also there's another factor, which is probably the most important factor, which is organizations can only sponsor you if they're listed in the Home Office's Tier 2 register of sponsors. So when you get a job offer, it's always important, critical, and essential to check if the organization is listed in the Tier 2 register of sponsors. And all this takes is you just Google UK Tier 2 register of sponsors. And the list comes up. It's like an online PDF document, and you only need to go there and search for your organization and see if it's listed there. Non-listed organizations cannot sponsor. Whatever the situation be, whatever they claim to be doing, if they claim to be an oil exploration company, if they claim to be a pharmaceutical giant, they need to be listed by the exact same name in the Tier 2 register of sponsors. Then comes the concept of certificates of sponsorship, COS. Again, one of the most important concepts. So it's essential for you to understand this. It's essential for you to understand how much an organization goes through. So listed organizations also have a limited number of certificates of sponsorship they can issue to immigrants each year. And what is this COS? The COS basically is a certificate which enlists all the details of the candidates: passport details, address details, correspondence, absolutely everything, and everything to do with the job, the job title, the salary, the number of working hours, everything. And the factor that I mentioned there, which is the most important factor, which is a salary, it needs to actually match. It needs to be equal to or greater than salary levels listed in another document called the Codes of Practice document. So there is another Home Office document called the Codes of Practice document, which lists various job titles possible for immigration and lists the salaries that they expect the immigrants to at least get from that particular job to be able to be sponsored. So if somebody tells you that they're going to sponsor you, they're going to hire you as an office manager and pay you £17,000, it's not going to work out. It has to be, firstly, the job title has to be listed in the Codes of Practice document, and then it has to be, the salary provided, has to be more than what's provided, what's mentioned in the Codes of Practice document, or at least equal to it. And then again, a COS can be issued to an external candidate, to a foreign candidate, if you're not already in the UK. A COS can only be issued if something called as a resident labour market test has been conducted. So I recommend that people do their research if they're at this stage of getting sponsorship by a genuine company. They do some research on resident labour market test. Again, it's something that I have actually discussed. Like a lot of things in this video, I have actually discussed resident labour market test in other videos in this channel, so I recommend that you go through them. So what happens after COS? The applications will then need to be made by the candidate with all the other relevant documents. So the COS is not the only thing. There are other relevant documents. There is the English language requirement. There is the health checkup or the tuberculosis checks for certain countries. So there are a lot of other aspects in addition to the COS, because the Tier 2 visa process is essentially a point-based system. So there are points, there are a number of points assigned for a COS which is correctly made, and then a number of points for English language requirements, etc. What are the other sections? Maintenance funds, for instance. Obviously, if your sponsor is an A-listed sponsor, you don't need to worry about maintenance funds, but if not, then you do. And then there's the English language requirement, which I just mentioned. Obviously, points for your identity, all of the relevant documents needed, and obviously if you have a dependent, then relevant documents linking the dependent to you. Then there is obviously the aspect of paying immigrant health surcharge and the accommodation aspect. So what I'm trying to say here is the COS is the most important aspect that everything begins from, but it's not the only aspect. So what does all of this actually mean for applicants? This is what I'm trying to actually bring forward with this video. Nobody will offer a genuine UK job offer with a UK visa easily. No one will be able to actually hand it out to you on a platter, claiming that you're lucky, so we are offering you a UK job, etc. No, it is a lot more complicated here. So, if you are getting a UK offer, it will actually come to you after a rigorous screening process. It won't come to you easily. It comes to you through interviews, through tests, through verifying your identity, and through genuine communication, which comes from office email addresses, and you know what I'm getting to. You know, it has to be convincing that this is actually come to you once you've put up a fight. Nobody's going to offer you a UK employment opportunity easily. So what to do when somebody claims to offer you a job? As I mentioned before, check the registry of sponsors to begin with. Also think logically if the job offered to you would be easy or difficult to fill by local candidates in the UK, because remember, whatever happens, if local UK candidates can fill the position that's being offered to you, you're not gonna be considered. You're not on the highest of priorities for the UK government. They're trying their level best to restrict you. So think about opportunities coming your way, and if people in the UK can actually fulfill the roles quite easily in your experience of thinking logically, I would say. And also, the full process will always take time. It takes months. It takes months for everybody everybody in the UK to actually identify and screen candidates, to actually to establish that the candidates are actually genuine and not faking their identity, and all of that kind. All of these aspects. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen in a couple of weeks. It takes time. Obviously, you have to understand that the way employment works in the UK, the way life works in the UK, is that there's a heavy emphasis on work-life balance. So more often than not, people actually do finish work when they're supposed to finish work, 5 o'clock or 5:30, whatever be the time. They shut their laptops down and go home. So nobody's gonna, make the process faster for you, should I say. Nobody's going to work extra. It's all going to take time. So the full process takes time, and if they're setting unrealistic deadlines for you that, hey, you need to complete these documents and apply for the job and pay your dues, whatever, in the next couple of weeks, it's all a scam. It doesn't work like that. Okay, and nobody will actually get offended when you actually ask your employers details of the job and of the visa. They're not going to get offended. Nobody gets offended like that in the UK. It's quite understandable that your mind would be plagued with a lot of questions. So if you're getting a genuine, if you're getting an offer which you think could be genuine, there's absolutely no problem for the employer to actually answer questions that you have about the job. So feel free to bombard them with questions. Feel free to ask them everything about the job. Feel free to ask the employer about how they actually think they'd be able to sponsor you, under what category, what type of visa, what job title, what salary level, absolutely everything. Probe them about it. Try and come across as a knowledgeable person who won't be taken for a ride, and you will be sorted. Okay, so I wish people all the best, and I really want, through all of my efforts that I've been putting in through this channel, all I want is for people to actually get genuine UK opportunities and not be scammed by people who offer you the world, who make you dream, and then basically just come off the radar, or just disappear with your money. That is very unethical in my point of view, and to be honest with you, I'm trying to find a way within my limited means to actually pursue matters for a lot of these companies which I encounter on a very repeated basis. A lot of these scam companies, I've had multiple cases of people getting scammed. So I'm trying to get find a way of actually taking action against these companies as well. Okay, I hope all of this was helpful for you. Any questions, feel free to use the comment section or drop me an email. Thank you very much. And if you like the content from this channel, support this video and like and subscribe. And also there's a PayPal link wherein you can actually provide monetary support to the channel if you like the work I do. Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye.